So Adam, a 2-1 defeat, just what are your thoughts on that game?
Disappointed that we've not got anything out of it, to be honest. I thought the players were brilliant. I don't really think they could have given much more. I felt we started the game really brightly. Obviously, won the penalty, missed the penalty. You know, it's obviously a massive moment, and that's 2 in 2 games now, which is just incredibly frustrating. And obviously then the red card just changes the whole direction of the game. I understand, you know, that his foot's high. The lads made a meal of it. You know, they've got loads of bodies round the referee, even though there's been loads of talk about getting, you know, just the captain round him. You know, so he makes a meal of it, and obviously the referee sends Will off, which I felt was unnecessary. And like I said earlier, it just changed the direction of the game. You know, from then on, it took that pattern that we were going to be in a low block, and they've got to try and break us down. We changed shape, went to try and be positive by putting David up there and bringing Cookie a little bit closer to him. Obviously equalised. Started the second half brightly, and then disappointed with the goal. You know, it took a centre half stepping in and scoring from 30 yards to win the game, and that I'm really disappointed with that, because I feel like the lads put everything on the line today to try and get a result, and I felt they really deserved something out of that game, but we haven't got anything, and that's obviously frustrating, but we just take the positives as always and look to take it into the next game.
Because obviously, like you say, looked like it was going to get off to the perfect start. Obviously, penalties may be something we now need to work on a bit more in training.
Well, listen, it's crazy because I've watched Cookie and Will Harris both take penalties after training Tuesday, Thursday and yesterday, and I'd say they're scoring 95% of them. So, you know, but ultimately it's what they do in games that's the most important thing, and obviously that'll be Cookie off them now because that's 2 that he's missed, and we'll have to see who we're going to give the ball to, whether it goes back to Will or whether it goes to somebody else. But you know, it's a real positive for us that, you know, we've obviously won 2 penalties in the first 2 games, because we're obviously getting into situations where we are posing a threat in the 18-yard box. What I would say is we should have had another penalty, second half, Stonewall penalty on David Cower. Pull, how that is not a penalty. That's one of the biggest decisions in the game, and he's got that wrong. And I just think there's a tendency for, I think officials are scared to give more than one penalty in a game. It's like, well, you've had one, you're not getting another one, even though it's a Stonewaller. You know, we give multiple free kicks for fouls between the boxes. It's no different, and that's frustrating as well. So, but it's just the way that things are going for us at the minute. You know, knowing how we'll look, the coach will probably break it down on the way home. But listen, you know, we'll push it back together, and we'll get ready for the next game.
And obviously, you mentioned as the red card changes everything, and obviously after that, it didn't take long for Wealdstone to get in front.
No, we probably needed to probably just keep it at 0-0 for a little bit longer. But listen, credit to the players because they stuck to the task. We changed shape, as I said before. We equalised, and then I really do feel like we should have had something out of that game. For as much possession as they had, I felt we were comfortable in the main, bar 1 or 2 moments. But you expect that when you play for 80 minutes with a man less away from home. So look, loads of positives for us to take, but ultimately we've got nothing on the board again, and that's something that we need to obviously rectify.
Obviously, as you say, one of those big positives, David Cower coming on and getting his first goal for the club.
Yeah, pleased for David. Obviously had a tough start with us dislocating his elbow in the first pre-season game, and so he's obviously then missed a few weeks. He's a little bit behind everybody else in terms of his minutes, but he's come on there and he's put a right shift in, took his goal very well. He's been training really well, he's been working hard, and he's probably a good example for all the other lads that haven't been in the team. Is that's how you've got to train day to day. You know, work hard, train well, and make me think and see through the week that you're ready. You know, if I want to put you in the team, that you're ready to go. And you know, pretty much as soon as we went like behind, I just felt it was the right thing to do, was just to make a positive change, get David on the pitch. Obviously great for him to come on and score. I'm disappointed that we've not, managed to get something out of it.
Because obviously then the second half, chances at both ends, and it's, as you said earlier, it's taken a wonder strike really to beat us.
Yeah, I felt we started the second half really well. Had a few half chances, shall we say, got off a couple of free kicks, which I think's an area we'd identified as probably being an area of weakness for them. Obviously, the goal in the first half came from second phase off a off a free kick. And then, yeah, like you say, they've obviously had a few chances, but you'd expect that, the amount of territory they had, the amount of possession that they had with having the man advantage. But I felt we defended the box in the main pretty well, certainly a lot better than we did last week, which is a real bonus for us. And I felt that Jevon, on his debut, thought he was tremendous. And then obviously, the longer the game went, I felt the players sensed that there could be something there for us, and we had one or two little flashes, but it just wasn't to be.
Of course, obviously up next, first Tuesday night game of the season, it's away to Boston.
Yeah, another tough game, difficult place to go. They obviously had a brilliant end to last season, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to carry that momentum into the start of this one. Not sure how they've got on. I haven't seen any of the results yet. But it's a difficult place to go, is Boston. So it's going to be another tough game. But they're all difficult games. We knew that this initial period was going to be difficult for us. Obviously, we've had a lot of change, got a lot of new players. Obviously, I'm new here myself. We've obviously played the first 2 games away from home at 2 difficult places to go, and we're away again on Tuesday. So it is testing, but it's coming through adversity and sticking together that defines a group. And if we just keep working hard and sticking together, then we'll be absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.